When an agentic decision goes wrong, an institution reaches for the oldest question in governance: who was responsible? With a person at the desk, the answer is close to hand. With an agentic system, it runs straight into the problem we started with. The decision was real, but it was assembled from many hands, and none of them looks like the decider. The vendor points to how you deployed its model. The build team points to the policy you gave the system. Operations points to the system's judgment on the day. Risk points to the boundary it was told to hold. Each account is partly true, and that is the danger. A responsibility shared by everyone is carried by no one. The principle that cuts through this is easy to say and hard to live by. You can hand the work to a machine. You cannot hand over the answer for the work. The payment the agent cleared is still the bank's payment. The customer it wrongly blocked is still the bank's customer. The regulator that asks why does not accept a system as the respondent. So, accountability does not dissolve when the decision is delegated. It has to be fixed more deliberately than before, because nothing about an autonomous system assigns it on its own. That means naming owners in advance across the layers the decision passed through. Someone owns the outcome in operations day to day. Above them, an executive owner answerable to the board and the regulator. A person who would be named in the incident report, not a committee that meets quarterly. The boundary has an owner. Whoever decided what the system may do alone. The tolerance has an owner. Whoever signed off that its error rate was acceptable. And the vendor sits outside this chain. A contract can move some risk to a supplier. It cannot move answerability. This is accountability as the allocation of answering, not a hunt for someone to blame. Because after an incident, the instinct is to find the person who got it wrong, and often that person does not exist. No one was careless. The system acted inside its boundary, at its accepted error rate, and the rare bad case arrived exactly as the design always said it would. Treat that as individual failure, and you teach the organization to hide incidents instead of surfacing them. Which brings us to time. Traditional governance keeps time in cycles. A board meets, a risk committee sits each quarter. An audit comes round once a year. Between those moments, the thing being governed is assumed to hold still. An agentic system does not keep that schedule. It acts continuously, decides at machine speed, and changes its own behavior between reviews as the cases it meets change. By the time the quarterly committee sits, the system has made an enormous number of decisions, and it may not be the same system that was signed off last time. Periodic governance arrives to inspect a snapshot of something that has already moved on. The review is not wrong. It is late. And lateness in governance is its own kind of failure. So the change is not only what governance checks, but when. The boundary has to be enforced on every action, not confirmed once at sign-off. The error and escalation rates have to be watched as live signals. And there has to be a way to act in the moment, to tighten the envelope, pause the agent, or pull it back the instant the signals say it has drifted, without waiting for a meeting. This is where all governance breaks most quietly, not in a dramatic failure. In an enterprise running a system at the new speed while governing it at the old one. The reviews still happen, the documents still get signed, and the distance between what was approved and what the system is actually doing widens unseen between the meetings. Set the four pieces beside each other: the boundary, the tolerance, the named owner, and the controls that run while the system runs, and they answer one question: under what conditions can an institution let a system act on its own? That reframes what governance is for. We feel it as a constraint, the list of things the AI is not allowed to do. It is the opposite. The envelope is what lets the agent act at all without a person on every case. The accepted tolerance is what lets it run despite never being perfect. The named honor is what lets the institution stand behind its decisions. The presence that watches it in real time is what lets it act at speed. Strip the governance away and you do not end up with more autonomy. You end up with autonomy the enterprise cannot defend and sooner or later has to withdraw. So in an agentic enterprise, governance is not a cost. It is a capacity. The institutions that will delegate the most are the ones that can govern the most. Governance used to sit after the work. Now it lives inside it as a design that lets the work be delegated at all. 5 terms of delegation to carry with you. Move control into the design. When the decision is the exit, a check at the exit is too late. Draw the envelope. Decide in advance what the system may do on its own. Set the tolerance. Certify against an accepted rate of error and keep watching it. Name the owner. The work can be delegated. The answer cannot. Govern while it runs. Enforce on every action and keep the power to pause or pull back. Get those 5 right and you can let the machine act. Miss them and you are not governing the system. You are hoping with documentation. In the next module, we turn to keeping that system safe, secure and under control.